Good morning, wrestling fans. Welcome to PWR today for Thursday morning, July 21, 2022. The man they call Meathead and the lovely and very observant Linda Kay. Good morning, Linda.
Good morning, Meathead. I do pay close attention to detail.
Yes,
So good thing I caught our little mishap just now.
that's okay. But there is no mishap because it didn't happen.
You're right.
Just like yesterday, there was a timestamp on the recording. I'm so glad you guys did that. It's the first time I think that you guys did that on a Wednesday morning.
Because there was no mishap yesterday either.
Nope. All right. Hey, and when it gets time to get dressed in the morning and get dressed to go out to your events, I don't have mishaps either because I got a nice big collection of collar and elbow.
Me too. So make sure you
Is that what
have.
the Me Too movement means? Me
No,
Too, as in I wear collar and elbow too?
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Well, if you want to have a huge collar and elbow collection, just like me and Meathead, make sure to go to collarandelbowbrand.com. As always, check out the latest and greatest in wrestling street fashions. I got to make sure I get that collar and elbow tank top because it sure is
Yeah.
still hot here in Wisconsin. And from what I see in the news all over the world, these record
It's
temps.
hot in England.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Where's our first ever PWR fan of the year, John Orchard, to tell us about, what's going on in England?
That's right. That's right. And I'm sure John Orchard has some collar and elbow gear as well.
Oh,
So
yeah.
again, go to collarandelbowbrand.com and to save 10% off your order. Who can't use a little extra cash? Use promo code Linda K. That's LINDAKAY.
Fantastic. Hey, I've got some free stuff mentions as well. Mr. John Moxley, the interim AEW champion, has been begging for, no, I wouldn't say begging, let's take begging back, has been pining for a sponsorship from, people to honestly get free stuff. He is hitting me straight in the heart right there when he says stuff like that. And he now has a sponsorship from Athletic Brewing. And here's the promo. Literally, once he got it, he dropped into promo right away. He said, "Hello, this is John Moxley, AEW World Champion, and the champ only drinks one kind of non-alcoholic brew, and that is from Athletic Brewing. You can get up in the morning, you can have an athletic and mow your grass. You can get up and run 10 miles through the mountains, or you can step in a ring and whoop someone's ass. You're fit for all times. Athletic Brewing." Wow, John Moxley knocking it out of the park for free stuff.
Yeah. And I've never heard of Athletic Brewing. As you know, in my past life, I worked a lot in the liquor industry.
Yeah,
So
I think it's
assuming it's
newish.
something newer. And hey, that makes sense. And of all the NA beers that I can think of, I don't necessarily think of an athlete being the face of the company. So I mean, I
Well,
think that's a
John,
huge get.
is recovering
Right.
and is going to be recovering, and I think it's the perfect mesh. An non-alcoholic brew that he still wants the taste of it, and John Moxley. So I think it's a perfect match. John, if you need anybody to do your voiceovers for you, I got you as well. Get up and run 10 miles through the mountains, or you could step in a ring and whoop someone's ass. You're fit for all times. All
Yes.
right. Good stuff for John Moxley there. I wonder if he's going to have it on his trunks soon. Kind of like Brock Lesnar used to have Jimmy Johns on his fighting trunks.
Like how I have ProWrestlingInsurance.com on my trunks, too.
As you should. Absolutely. We love ProWrestlingInsurance.com. All right. Let's talk about Tuesday. Tuesday night's NXT. You and Matthew broke it down yesterday and said that you found something in the trash. In the trash, Cora Jade throws the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. Madusa, the first ever to do it on live TV, through the WWF Women's Championship in the trash live on Nitro of WCW. Linda, your thoughts on a competitor dumping a title into the garbage?
I mean, that's huge, making a huge statement. And I think it was something very unexpected, let alone at NXT. And from Cora Jade, now we know this is a huge turn for her, but I was not expecting the title going into the trash. I was.
You thought she was going to throw her M&M's wrapper?
No, wisps or that the empty nacho.
The wisps. I know Matthew Thomas had been asking if I've ever found stuff in the trash too, but yeah, right now we're just talking about the women's NXT championships.
Yeah, but I think having it was a great surprise in that they're still technically the NXT Tag Team Champions, and right now, I mean, other than getting a match against one another, but if they're still champions, we gotta do something to take that title off of Cora. I mean, technically she's still the champion, but she doesn't really need to have the belt title around her waist.
Right. Let's talk about this. I mean, WCW was one that it occurred on. Linda, do you remember the day that Madusa or, Alundra Blaze, but Madusa showed up on WCW and dropped the belt in the garbage can? Do you remember the day?
I remember it happening, but I don't remember the day.
December 18th, 1995 episode of WCW Monday Nitro.
So I wondering if there was any significance in the time that has passed since then.
No. And now we're going to move on. I will tell you one other thing too, though. One other belt being thrown into the garbage has happened on WCW Monday Nitro. Do you know that one? And this is why I bring up the pulling it out of the garbage and becoming champion. Do you know who did that?
No, you'll have to fill me in, WCW meathead.
Hey, yo. Scott Hall was the winner of the WCW Hardcore Championship and said, psh, and threw it in the garbage. Do you know who picked it up out of the garbage? He's currently a WWE producer, I believe on Raw or NXT, but I know I've seen him on TV before.
Billy Kidman.
Norman Smiley, otherwise known as Norman Smiley.
Ah.
Norman Smiley found it in the garbage, picked it up, and became the WCW Hardcore Champion and started defending it. And actually, during the WCW Nitro days of the Vince Russo era, I loved what he did. It was buffoonery, right? But he came out in a football helmet, football pads, and all that, and kept himself protected because he was a classically trained wrestler, but was wrestling these hardcore matches. And actually, I thought it was entertaining TV.
Yeah, I think so. I gotta go back into the annals of the network and see if I can find some more footage of Norman Smiley in that gear.
Good stuff. All right, let's get into Dynamite from last night, Linda. And most of the time it's Matthew and myself doing Dynamite on Thursday mornings. And, we've done some good Dynamites. And to be honest, in the 3+ years or, whatever year we're in now of AEW, I've enjoyed just about every Dynamite. Last night was not one of them.
There were some things a little different than other Dynamites.
There was things I still enjoyed. Right. Let's make that part clear. It wasn't a dumpster fire of 2 hours, but that was not a show that I was really into, to be completely honest with you. And the reason why, and we kind of mentioned this to ourselves in our little group chat, is that it felt very WWE. Let's get into the results from last night. The opening match, and they went right to action, was Brody King, representing the House of Black, taking on Darby Allin with Sting at his side. This started us off in a right way. I really thought this was a great match, and this is not one of the things I didn't like. I actually liked this match. After the match, and Brody King, of course, wins with what did they call that? That's called a it's like a Gonzo bomb, something like that.
I don't know, but it looked brutal.
Yeah, it's a Gonzo bomb. So after the match, he put him in the rear naked choke again. Sting came out. Here comes Brody King to attack him. Sting went for the Stinger Death Drop, and then the lights went out. And when they came back on, Malachi Black is standing in Sting's face. And then it was a 2-on-1. Miro came down and did nothing. Remember last week we were teased with Miro saying, "Are you mocking me or telling me to join the House of Black?" So your thoughts, where's Miro going? Is he going to join the House of Black, or is he going to join with Sting and Darby Allin?
I don't think he necessarily needs to align with either. But,
good call.
But Sting did get misted, and we know that when you get misted, you go blind.
Can I ask you a question? This is some wrestling logic nonsense that I want to bring up. Brody King was holding Sting in a rear choke, right? So that means his face is right next to Sting's face. Sting got misted, Brody King didn't. Sting had to sell the mist, Brody King didn't.
Watch it back. I think you got more of Sting's lower bottom part of his eye. So I think that.
Do you see what I'm saying here, though?
Like, I know, but I feel that maybe this is something Brody King and Malachi Black had strategized on, and perhaps Brody had his eyes closed.
Okay. So it only hurts if it gets inside, because it made Pac blind twice, made Julia Hart wear an eye patch. and when it hits Brody King, it does nothing. Like, does he have like the antivirus, for it? Has he been vaccinated for the mist?
Maybe he has some of that missed DNA, so it really doesn't do anything.
Oh, I understand that because I've always said in my family I've got the best DNA anyway, so I understand that. Okay, I understand now.
But to answer your question, I don't think that he necessarily has to align himself with either, but I feel with Sting possibly being temporarily blinded.
Mm-hmm. Well, he could have been blinded by the light and then wrapped up like a douche. So
yes.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see what happens next week. But I really want to see if Sting comes out.
I want to see Sting and Malachi Black wrestle. That's what I want.
Yeah. No, I do too. But will he be temporarily blinded? Because if that's what the mist does, I think at least 1 week needs to be eye patched or wrapped.
And to be honest, Sting would probably do a great job with the face paint and do some sort of I think that that needs to be a pay-per-view match, honestly.
Yeah.
And Stinger's loving it. It's a great guy for him to work with too. So I love the continuation of Malachi Black and Sting. Like I said, not everything was bad. I enjoyed that whole thing. Backstage, Cole Carter, a former NXT talent, is being interviewed, and Ricky Starks walks up and the tie-in to Shark Week, I know that it's called Corporate Synergy, but it was obnoxious last night. Absolutely obnoxious. The sharks everywhere, the talent being forced to wear the styrofoam shark cats. Enough is enough. So
they also had the ring apron was shark taped as well.
Everywhere. It was on the banners. So what did they call those? The ribbons that go throughout the arena too. So enough. All right, but anyways, FTW Championship in an open challenge is being defended last night, and it was Ricky Starks taking on Cole Carter. So next match was best friends Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta with Orange Cassidy taking on the Blackpool Combat Club's Wheeler Yuta and John Moxley with William Regal. You know what? I normally don't like a four-man booth. One of the four-man is Orange Cassidy. He doesn't really talk. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, even William Regal was getting a kick out of it. But yeah, I thought this match was great as well. Definitely
enjoyed it.
Yeah. So far for you, Meathead, it was 2 for 2.
Yeah.
Minus as far as matches so far.
Right. Like the match was fine. You know what? I'm okay with the match. The winner of the match was the Blackpool Combat Club, of course. So the Swerve and Our Glory come out, and this is where I felt it started getting very WWE. Swerve and Our Glory come out to do the celebration for their tag team title wins last week. And here comes Smart Mark Sterling, Tony Nese. They've got rappers on the side and celebrities, making sure to point out people that they know that are famous. Cake in the face. Linda, I started losing it right here.
I knew they were in Atlanta, and I know that Swerve is a musical artist as well. And
wait, what?
Okay, we have their friends at ringside. Cool. A little different, but okay. We already got a little taste of the extra promotional stuff. Or what did you say? Corporate you said synergy. Thank you. Synergy. But now we're kind of dwelling to like the celebrity synergy as well. I mean, we also had not sure his name, but getting good punching on Tony Nese as well.
Yeah.
Just stepping over, I mean, yeah, very reminiscent to other celebrity appearances or interferences with WWE that we see where they can go over the barricade and it's okay. They can touch a talent and it's okay. And then the cake. Okay, I thought it was a little funny, haha. Definitely a little different.
It's maybe they normally would do.
Right. Well, we knew that there was a huge main event coming up that was completely opposite of that. So maybe
right. So was it balanced? Was it balanced? Is that what you're saying? I understand that.
Perhaps.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be total leaning toward the WWE way if these guys are now going to be getting a contract sometime soon, getting a match at the next pay-per-view.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Interview in the back with Johnny Hungy, the other one is known as the Meat Man. I love a Meat Man. And that's why I love you, Butcher. So here's a shirt that says Butch. And you know what? I got one for you too, Blade. Here's a shirt. Oh, it says Butch on it. That was kind of funny to me. What was very nerve-wracking for me, though, is when they were going to throw him into the wall. Did you see the pipe there?
Yeah.
Because all I'm thinking about is the hard, sharp metal edges and the bolts. And luckily, his head and hand were about a quarter of an inch to half inch underneath it. That had me nervous.
Yeah. Well, what I took most out of this segment was Butch, just because there is another Butch
Yep.
in our wrestling out there. So I don't know if that was a little.
Oh, it was a shot. Oh, absolutely,
yeah.
it was a shot. That's why they did that. So, our guy, Pete Dunne, the bruiserweight, who goes by Butch now on SmackDown, you know what? It's growing on me a little bit. But we got a Butch in AEW. It's the Butcher. Butch. And hey, Blade, I got one too. Oh, it says Butch. All right. The Instant Classic, Christian Cage and Luchasaurus taking on the Varsity Blondes. Ranked number 5, by the way, in the tag teams. And this was a quick one. Linda Kay, I'm very disappointed. I thought that they went way, way too soon with the return of the Jungle Boy. And I have no idea why Luchasaurus is now back with Jungle Boy. Explain this to me.
Rather early as well,
so
in
early.
my eyes. However, there could be a swerve, no pun intended, on this, in that it's a way to get even a deeper attack with Luchasaurus onto the returning Jungle Boy. Just because, I think between me, you, and Matthew, and possibly a lot of people listening, this turn and this partnership, if you will, with Christian has really gotten us more into Luchasaurus' character and what he's going after. I think his look with the black mask was looking better, even
and the black goo in his mouth. Yeah.
So, and the whole thing with Christian, he's really touched the waters a lot there, but there could be more, and I feel like there should be more. If they're making their tag team debut, this could have been something further with that. So my assumption is that this is still just a trap for Jungle Boy.
Well, let's hope it makes sense. Here comes JR, and JR been in the news lately, but we enjoy JR coming out and really popping for the second hour. So we started off with Absolute Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs taking on Cole Carter. Absolute Ricky Starks putting his FTW championship on the line against Cole Carter. You know what? Good match. Good showing by Cole Carter, the winner and still champion, Ricky Starks.
Can I say, speaking of the Shark, I was going to say Shark Boy, Shark Week reference. That was funny.
Shell, yeah.
Cole Carter, when he was, they're saying last time we saw you, you were in the water, or throwing the water, now, swimming with the fishes, and now you're swimming with the sharks. So I thought that was clever. But hey, he looked great. It was nice to have, I believe Cole Carter was 2 times, but just him getting more of the speaking role and just another character. Yeah. Great showing and his debut.
Yep. So here's where I got excited, and I'm hoping we're heading this way. Okay. Ricky Starks says, you know what? I got something a little left in the tank. How about I open up the challenge again? Here comes Danhausen. Awesome. Okay, I'll take Danhausen. Yes. Very, very evil. Very, very good. But the challenge isn't for tonight. It's for next week. I thought maybe Danhausen taking the belt off of Ricky Starks, because, Linda, we've had them interview Hook. Is it time for a title belt? I think that there's one belt out there that belongs to Hook, and it needs to be the FTW championship. Now, Taz mentioned on commentary there was only, 4 champions, 4 total FTW champions. Did I hear that number right?
Let's I'm not sure.
Taz, Sabu, Brian Cage, and Ricky Starks.
Ricky, okay.
So 4 champions. The Hook needs to be the next FTW champion.
It doesn't have to go on to Danhausen for one night?
No. Maybe they make a 3-way. I don't
know. I guess there could be something more still with Hookhausen for them to kind of. Not sure on that one, but I do agree that FTW title is something that's definitely within Hook's reach. I just don't know if it's this second right now, but if Danhausen happens to get it, then I think Hook will quickly get it right after.
Possibly.
Some way. Mm-hmm.
All right. And getting that FTW championship defended way more now that Taz doesn't have it, because Taz never defended his championship. FTR came out for an interview with Shivani, and Cash said that 2022 has been a great year. And then Wheeler also mentioning that it's been a great year and told the story of his 5-year-old daughter that 3 years later, now his 8-year-old daughter has been such a fighter because she had a hole in the bottom of her heart, and now she's completely healed. And, he can't do any less. Here's the only thing. This was really good. I enjoyed this whole thing. The only thing that's missing, if you're going to continue to show the Briscoes' face on TV, why didn't we get a Briscoe promo?
Yeah, I thought about that as well. If they couldn't
I was
make it
waiting
live,
for them coming out right there.
Yeah.
What, I mean, did they have issues on the farm? Because we know those guys are really chicken farmers. So, I mean, could they not make it down to Atlanta? That's in the South.
There were some avian flu problems on some chicken farms in Wisconsin. Perhaps something.
Okay. All right. I mean, I'm willing to buy that. I'm not even joking. I'm willing to buy that. Maybe there was issues on the farm, but FTR.
There could have been a package, I guess. But after that promo too by Wheeler, it's kind of hard.
If AEW is so hardcore in one, owning Ring of Honor, and two, promoting Ring of Honor, they put on their commentators, they put on their champions, they put on their ring announcer, Bobby Cruz, and everybody else. You can't put the Briscoes on? I don't get
it. Maybe there's something we don't know with that.
Maybe. And that's okay. Maybe it's money. I don't know. Whatever it is. I'm just saying that was the only thing that was missing from it. I thought the whole thing was amazing. Just one piece missing. So that is not what counts against Dynamite last night. Not at all. Okay. Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, and Satnam Singh sitting in the back. Christopher Daniels challenges Jay Lethal to a match on Rampage. Christopher Daniels back wrestling, I guess. I guess he never really retired.
No, this just confirms it even more as revealed on our PWR fantasy draft 2 seasons ago.
Yeah. So I still hope that his eye is healing. I know that he's able to work with it, but yeah, his eye is discolored. I don't know if you saw that. That's not a gimmick. That's really what happened from that super kick. And Matthew and I talked about it on the program here. We believe it might be a super kick from the Bucks in one of those tag team matches that happened during the COVID era.
Yeah, I remember when he came back to do that match, that first live Dynamite again for the audience with against Daniel Bryan, and his eye was still. They were talking about that then. It still is. So hopefully it's still healing.
I hope he's not in pain. I hope he can see. I mean, just good health for him. That's what we're hoping for. All right, the baddies: Jade Cargill and Kiera Hogan took on Athena and Willow Nightingale. Now, in a pre-interview, they mentioned that Chris Statlander was banned from ringside because this was mentioned as a 6-woman tag. Linda, any news on the baddies partner? Where is she?
I'm not sure. I was really hoping to see Layla Gray on there last night, and I know it was advertised.
Still current OVW Women's Champion,
right. So I hope all is well, and we'll find out. Maybe it just has to be next week on Dynamite or Rampage or whatnot. But hope all is well with that. But yeah, that was a surprise during the match. But we still got a women's tag match, and that one, being a great one, a lot of action with the ladies, and this having a lot of focus on Jade Cargill again.
Of course, yeah.
Atlanta, hometown, and we got Jermaine Dupree as a special. I'm sorry, Jermaine. Excuse me. Accompanied by Stokely Hathaway and hip hop legend Jermaine Dupree.
There you go. Stokely Hathaway just cracks me up till no end. I absolutely love him. And
I'm happy to see him still on weekly wrestling television.
Yeah, and he didn't even have a no compete. I mean, literally after he was removed from NXT, he was back in AEW like within a couple weeks. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. That's a talent that you want to keep around all day, every day. The baddies with the pinfall, and again highlighting Jade as they should be. Jade still looks good. We just had the Goldberg biography this last Sunday, and we talk about the streak that went to 174-0 or whatever the number was. I think maybe they've learned from history. And Jade is only at 35-0. It's been over a year. So they're not inflating the numbers. They're literally showing you these matches. And actually, I think they're doing such a great job with this streak.
Yeah. I mean, being the first ever TBS champion and no one really coming that close to taking it, just a win off of her. I mean, there's been some more physical
competitive
matches.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's almost predictable, but it's not disappointing because we know that she's this rising star here, and that there's just so much behind her company wise that she's still looking great. I mean, obviously gorgeous and just the look it's
Yeah,
herself, but
absolutely.
yeah, we'll see. And now we have the baddies, so it's just like I don't anticipate her losing that anytime soon. However, putting her in the tag matches is, just shakes things up, if you will, and it's a good
Yeah,
one.
absolutely. Main event time, barbed wired everywhere death match. The Painmaker Chris Jericho against the Mad King Eddie Kingston. The match didn't start until the other members of the Jericho Appreciation Society were put into a shark tank and lifted about 15 to 20 feet off the ground. The controls controlled by Ruby Soho over at the ring announcers table. The match started off with the Painmaker coming out, and then Eddie Kingston came out. Justin Roberts, the dapper yapper, his microphone covered in barbed wire. Eddie stole it from him right away, popped Chris in the forehead, and then gets on the mic and tells him he's going to bleed. So Eddie, I mean, literally was just smiling the whole way through. Let's get to the highlights here real quick. This was a brutal match, and Anna Jay from the Dark Order came down to stop Ty Conte from harassing Ruby Soho. However, Anna Jade joining up with Ty Conte and attacking Ruby Soho. They lower the cage. Again, I'm not quite sure why it's such a difficult task to open up a cage with a key.
Or handcuffs.
Or handcuffs or shark mascots at the commentary table or whatever we're doing. Again, I thought this was a dumpster fire of a show, to be honest with you, with the exception of the good spots that we have mentioned, the great promo from FTR and so forth. But finally, the guys said, you know what? We got spots to hit. They just snuck out of the cage. So it defeated the purpose of the cage. They shit on the cage right there. When they got down to the ground, literally, oh, look at that. They fit right through the bars of the cage. So you're telling me they couldn't have done that when they were in the air and just dropped down? Come on, man.
Well, I mean, 15 to 20 feet still.
I've fallen 15 to 20 feet. These are wrestlers. They fall off of ladders all the time.
Right. But that's okay. I mean, I still enjoyed this match, though, Meathead. I guess
Okay.
I don't mind.
We differ. That's okay.
Yeah, I don't mind some kabukiness, some shenanigans. The guys escaping through, I did at first think, oh man, they just fit right through it. I wasn't really thinking like, why didn't they jump out? I was just thinking, wow, they fit through the cage. And then I saw,
except for Hager. Hager wasn't.
No, that's what I was gonna say. He tried to get through the top part, and then they panned away. And then I'm assuming there was assistance in getting the key to open the lock, because then all of a sudden Hager
and then what kind of shark cage is that? If wrestlers can fit through, couldn't a shark fit through that?
Maybe that was the backup plan. If the lock doesn't happen, we're gonna have you squeeze right through. No, yeah, I mean, hey, some things happen. I was thinking of Paul Heyman with Roman.
Was that the handcuffs? It was Kevin Owens. Yeah, Roman and Kevin Owens. Yeah. I think it was Last Man Standing, and Kevin handcuffed him to the light girders, or something like that. But
yeah. But yeah, I mean, but we got Anna Jay with the turn. I don't know if she's necessarily joining the Jericho Appreciation Society, but she's back in her friendship with Ty Conti.
Yep. I would think the Dark Order would have an issue with that.
Right. I think they would still just what she did would have an issue with that. So we'll see if something transpires from that. But yeah, just a few things took note of during that match. Just seeing if you're wearing looser attire, it's harder to get yourself out of that barbed wire, because often I saw Eddie Kingston just kind of pull. That wasn't necessarily in his skin, even though we did see the cuts and the nicks on his body.
Yeah.
But just whenever his bottom half got in, it was just like, bing, like hard time getting it out of the contraption. And I know same with Jericho with his like t-shirt, but I'm just thinking like lighter, thinner pants. But yeah, despite Eddie Kingston losing that match, and we later saw Sammy Guevara coming in to help Jericho, he still made Jericho bleed, and he did bite the top of his head shortly after that mic strike. So I guess he can come back and say, I did what I promised.
Can I ask you this, being a person who's involved and now watches wrestling and been doing this for how many years? Eddie Kingston popped right back up after the pinfall and seemed to be energized. who's paying attention to this stuff? That made no sense. If you got knocked out to the point where you suffered a 1, 2, 3, why are you popping back up the second the pin falls over?
Yeah. Well, he is a mad king, a mad man.
But not mad enough to get a win.
Yeah, there was some more energy because he likes this kind of crazy shit, you know.
I get. I'm sorry, and like I said, I thought it was a kind of a shit show of wrestling. To be honest with you, the entire night had mascots. It had sharks all over the place. Matter of fact, what was that? I even skipped over it.
Chompy.
Yeah, Chompy. But I'm talking about the 4 or 5 minutes that we had to watch the King of Dragons or whatever the hell that was. What has that got to do with anything?
Yeah.
I understand why they're doing it.
Yeah.
It's corporate synergy, right? Because HBO, Turner, I understand all that. But for the love of God, that's one of the things I loved AEW about was they didn't have all this garbage going on around it. Last night felt very WWE-ish.
It was a special. It was Fyter Fest night, so just other kabuki.
I understand. Stuff. And you know what? Like I said, AEW, they have not failed me very, very often in the 3+ years or whatever amount of time it is. So you know what? It happened. There was an episode when they first started off where they had Ricky and Morty on the TV for like 20 minutes during the segment once. Didn't like it. We moved on. It didn't happen again. You know what? Last night's show wasn't for me. That's all. Let's go on. I'll watch next week. Next week is, and I forget the name of it's Fight for the Fallen. Next week is almost a charitable type show, but a lot of great matches coming up next week as well. So I'm excited to watch. I'll be watching Rampage tomorrow night as well. So
I will be too.
All right. Well, Linda, that is our week for you and me because we're going to have Matthew Thomas in here tomorrow to help us get ready for Rampage, for SmackDown. We might even talk a little WWE biographies, kind of go into the Undertaker and the Goldberg ones so far. And we can even run down a Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor card that happened Saturday night. So for Linda Kay, for Matthew Thomas, I'm the man they call me, Ed. Thanks for stopping by. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning. So long, everyone.